Have you ever felt like the place that you are living is not actually supporting you, your relationship, your abundance? You don't feel vibrant, you don't feel like connected, abundant. Maybe that's because you are not in the right place. So, welcome to another episode of the Astro Wanderer. I'm Luana Bossetti, your host. I'm an astrologer, astrocartographer, and intuitive guide here to help you bring astrology from the sky down to earth and use it and your compass in your day-to-day life so that you can really reconnect to yourself, to your truth, and create the life that you desire. In this episode, we're going to talk about astrocartography. We're continuing the journey that we started last week. So if you haven't checked the episode of last week, make sure to go back where I give you an introduction of what astrocartography is, that it's basically just a travel branch of astrology. And I start helping you to embody and discover the three most important lines, your big three, your sun, moon, and rising. While in this episode, we are going deeper into two of the most expansive, radiant, abundant lines, Venus and Jupiter. I'm so excited to go into that because we just had some Venus and Jupiter transits last week. We had Venus entering Scorpio for this month, where she really wants to go deep, connect with the pleasure, sexuality, sensuality, and even manifestation. And then we had Jupiter on the 11/11 yesterday, moving into retrograde in Cancer. That doesn't have to be a bad thing. And actually, I always tell you to be aware for forming fear-monger astrologers. And that's not truth that you cannot manifest when Jupiter is retrograde. First of all, it depends on your birth chart because in my birth chart, my natal Jupiter, the day I was born, was retrograde. And actually, when Jupiter is retrograde, it's when I reach the most abundance, the most money in my business, the most abundant self. So there's that. And then it also depends on the placements for you, where Jupiter was placed, what are the aspects, and Venus as well. So again, take everything with a grain of salt. This is a general interpretation, but then I highly encourage you to go always back to your birth chart. That's your compass, that's your DNA, to see if that is actually something that is supportive for your own birth chart, because each birth chart is unique. So I highly encourage you, if you haven't done it yet, to go and get your birth chart reading from an astrologer. It can be me if you resonate, or another astrologer. And actually, if you're looking into astrocartography, also make sure that they refer back to your birth chart. That's very, very important. So if that resonates with you and you want to have a reading with me, my calendar for November and December is open. You can go at luanabossetti.com/services, and I have astrology, astrocartography readings for you. And make sure to book into this year, because next year my prices are going to go up. So if you want to get the readings at the price that it's now, go. This is your call to action, luanabossetti.com/services. But having said that, before we dive into this episode, I also have another announcement. So, as I shared previously, I always do 2 events per month to connect with you, with the community. And I've done last week my first event, which is a free event that I host every second Sunday of the month, where we actually go deeper into astrology. It's a live event, it's not recorded, and I always take the people that are that um, container, and I share a little bit about the energies of the month astrologically, and then help you tune into your birth chart, give you insights, ritual on how you can really embody your birth chart for that month. So you can check the link in the show notes to register. It's free, and you can already register for the next month. And then next week, we have a new moon in Scorpio. And I always do a paid new moon circle every month, sometimes by myself, sometimes with collaborators. And this month, I'm so excited to bring you Rachel, an amazing spiritual coach, witch, and so much more, on the event with me. We're gonna tune into like the energy of this new moon in Scorpio to reconnect with your intuition so you can manifest the life that you desire. That will be a very manifestation ritual there. So if you're interested in joining, make sure to check the link in the show notes. I would love to have you there. And as always, share with your friends, share this episode, like, comment, subscribe. That's really important to help me to bring this knowledge to more people that really need it. And subscribe to my Dreamers letter. That where you will receive all the episodes dropping, the ritual, the practices, and so much more. So, having said that, as always, let's take a sip of your favorite drink, grab one if you haven't already, and let's take a deep breath and let's get this started. It's funny if you watch on YouTube, you see really me drinking, taking a deep breath, and all of that. But you know what? It's live, it's authentic. I didn't want to like cut this piece for what? It's like I'm drinking and I'm taking a deep breath. So let's take one more together. Inhale through your nose and out through your mouth. Alrighty, so last week I shared about astrocartography, the introduction, and three lines, the sun, moon, and rising. This episode, I want to dive deeper into your Venus and Jupiter lines. These are very powerful lines to really feel connected to yourself, to the people around you, to the universe, and always also feel expanded, abundant. Again, this is a general interpretation. Always refer to your birth chart. So what I'm going to tell you today, it's general, what these lines represent, but then, as always, refer to your birth chart. Let's start with Venus. Venus is the planet of abundance. It's the planet of love, relationship, money, beauty, self-love. So Venus lines are really good for like two things, let's say among many others. But I always like check Venus lines if a person comes to have a reading with me and she's like, and they're like, I'm focused on relationship. I want to attract my partner. I want to settle down, or I'm focused on self-love or money. That's where I try to go to and see in their birth chart if this resonates, because Venus lines are good for all of that, are really good for love, whether it's self-love, it's attracting a partner, it's a relationship, it's like level up your relationship. It's about your relationship with money, with self-worth. Venus lines really bring this energy to you. So also if you're looking to call in a relationship, I may look at your Venus line. If you're looking to go deeper into yourself, if you're looking to relocate as well, I could look at your Venus line. And as I shared last time, every planet line has four different lines because we refer to the angles in the birth chart: AC, IC, DC, and MC. So, depending on where you come in, if you come in and you're like, I want a place to settle down, to create a family, to really level up my relationship, to really settle in a way, I would just say, and I don't even like the word settle, but root, I think it's a better word for me. To root down, to create a family, and all of that, I might look at your Venus IC line, because IC lines, it's really the home, the roots. It's good to buy real estate as well. It's good if you want to create a family. It's that moon energy of the like grandmother, of the divine feminine. So that could be a really good place, the Venus IC line, if you really are looking to like create a family or find your home with your partner. If instead you come to me and you're like, I'm looking to attract that relationship or to create more community and relationship around me, I would say go to a Venus DC line, because DC line, it's for relationships. So maybe in that place you will meet your partner or your soulmate, can be also a soul sister, brother. That's a really good place to expand, to pull in, but also expand and create more abundance in your relationship. Said if you want to like create a better relationship with money, I'll suggest, okay, let's go on a Venus MC line, because MC, it rules, Capricorn. It's at the highest point. It's the abundance that we can bring, the highest abundance. And sometimes in this life comes in the form of money, which is only currency. So that could be a great line for you to go to attract more abundance in money and to rewrite your money beliefs and story. And last but not least, if you want to connect more to your self love and self worth, maybe a Venus AC line is what you are looking for, because it will help you connect to like the highest self that you are, to that like soul within you. So that can really be great for that energy. Now I'm going to share with you Venus line, and I'm going to go to my birth chart and remember if I've been on a Venus line. So I don't think I've been directly on a Venus line, to be honest, but I got closer in some places. So the first one that I remember is when I was with my ex, and we had a long distance relationship, and then we decided to meet. I was looking for places, and what came up, it was like Turkey was a good place for a visa related, because obviously he was from India, I'm from Europe, so we had to check so like a place that it's good, and I couldn't enter the US at that time because I was in the process of doing my visa. So Turkey was the place that we chose, and I didn't even like, actually I didn't check until later because I didn't want to be like feel like influenced. I thought that place was good, but I had a Venus DC line. And even though the relationship is not like with me anymore, but that relationship like brought so much abundance into my life and made me like abundant and grow in a way that I didn't think possible. So that's my experience with the Venus line. I have one near Bali that it's a place that I haven't been yet, but I really like connected with a lot of people from there, especially when I was doing courses. I remember I was doing this course to balance my feminine and masculine energy. And there was this coach that I loved that really created this program. And at the time, I was very much into my masculine and I wanted to swing more into my feminine. And that lady that was based in Bali. So I think Bali has a lot of energies for me, which I'm not going to go into right now, but I think um, that's an example for you of what I've shared previously on the podcast and I share in the previous episode, that sometimes you don't have to go to the place to attract their energy, but you can attract it from the people, from courses, from other things, because actually we are spiritual being and even a human experience, and our soul can travel to different places without our body to move actually physically to a place. So that's the way I kind of like take the energy of Bali, of that person, and brought it into my life to heal my divine feminine. And then I think that's it, because the other lines I have Canada, US, and going down to South America, which is Venezuela. I think I connected actually with a lot of people, because when I was working at Disney last year in the restaurant that I was working, there were a lot of people from Venezuela. So I think that was a way of connecting. And I was there for a career. So it makes sense. That was my MC line. But yeah, always refer also to your birth chart. My Venus in my birth chart is in Aries. So it's a very different energy, that Venus, that it's rules Taurus or Libra. Like I initiate things. So when I attract this energy, like I initiated to go to the US and I connected with these people. I connected with the person in Bali and I took action. I did a course because Venus is action. And also when I went to Turkey to meet with my ex, was like we took this leap of faith, this like scary action that we had to take. So again, always refer to your birth chart, because maybe your Venus placement is in another sign. Maybe it's aspected with something. So that's why I always refer to your birth chart. But this is Venus, and also my personal experience with this line. And now I'm so excited to go into Jupiter because Jupiter line it's been one of like the themes of my life. I've been there, I lived there, I attracted people from that line, and this story it's just insane. But before we go into that, Jupiter lines in general, again, Jupiter, it's a planet of expansion, is the Santa Claus of the zodiac, as my mentor Deborah Silverman says. It's really that jolly energy, that expanded big picture thinking. So Jupiter lines could be the best places to live in your birth chart if you want to attract that good luck, that abundance energy. If you want that, like things just flow easily, like things fell into your lap, like it's a very expansive energy. Again, check your birth chart. For me, Jupiter it's in Virgo in my 12th house. That's my placement in your birth, in my birth chart. And it's actually not aspected. So for me, it's more like very grounding energy when I go to this place, and it really helps me to connect back to myself and to grow as well. So that's what Jupiter line experience for me. But again, depends on your birth chart. But in general, these are great lines to really like connect to that abundance, like life flowing easy, like you are really in alignment with your path. Again, as I explained for Venus, there are four pair of lines for Jupiter as well. So let's get into that. If you come to me and you're like, I want to buy a property somewhere, and I see that you have good aspects in your Jupiter, I would say the best line, obviously, again, depend on your birth chart, for buying real estate, it's a Jupiter IC line, because not always I see, as I said before, it's related to the home, but Jupiter expanding, so it can be very expansive energy to buy property, even if you want to create a like hotel, bed and breakfast inn, or if you want to buy property to then like put it on the market and sell it at a better price or restore it. Like this is a really good real estate, like investment energy. Then obviously, if you want to expand your relationship, if you really want to take it to the next level, but in a way that you cannot even imagine, Jupiter DC lines can be very great lines to go to all about relationship, like expanding. If you want instead expand the relationship with yourself, like call into like your most abundant, authentic self, your next level version of yourself, Jupiter AC lines could be really great for that. Also to reconnect to your purpose, to like really feel in alignment with your dharma, your highest purpose. And instead, if you want to like level up in your career, maybe like really feel like you want to take the next level step, take the leap of faith in your career, Jupiter MC lines, that could be a very great energy for that. But again, check your birth chart. If you need help, I'm here. You know where to find me, luanabossetti.com/services. And let's talk about my astro uh, Jupiter lines, because oh my gosh, when I really got into astrology and I look at the lines, I was like, what? Are you freaking kidding me? Because actually, I had my spiritual awakening on a Jupiter line. Not surprised, because Jupiter brings that awakening, that abundance. It's also the energy of Sagittarius. Sagittarius people are the one that are here to wake us up. So I was during the pandemic on my Jupiter AC line, AC being your highest purpose, really reconnected with my Dharma. That's when I realized that what I was doing in the hotel where I was working, it was like not for me anymore. I had this spiritual awakening during the pandemic. When I came back, I had that dark night of the soul, like, I wanted to travel. The world shut down. They kick us off of the hotel. I had no job, nothing. And at the same time, I felt the most free in my life so far, until that time. And I was like, how is that possible? The first week was really like very like hard. But then when I released the control, because obviously, what could you do? Like Spain shut down at the time. I was in the Canary Islands that belonged to Spain. Even if they like let all the people out, and we only had 33 cases in the island of Fuerteventura where I was in, but you could not go in and out. So I was like, for me, as a Sagittarius moon and as a traveler, I was like, I'm fucking stuck here. But then in the end, it was like I needed to slow down, to stop, to realize that what I was doing was not sustainable anymore. And that's when I really like had my spiritual awakening on that island on my Jupiter sea line. And guess what? That spiritual awakening connected me with my mentor that has been my mentor in many progress programs, many things. And guess what? My mentor is actually living and was living even at the time on my Jupiter IC line that it's in Texas. And I'm like, what? And I also have a moon line there near Austin, Texas. These two kind of like come together. And I'm like, what? This really brought me back to myself because it's through this person that it's a coach, famous coach, Christine Hassler, that I listened to her podcast and when I had my spiritual awakening, and then she was offering she and her husband, Stefano Sifandos, that it's another amazing facilitator, breathwork facilitator and coach. They really helped me through the pandemic because they were hosting these free breathwork and meditation events. And then I was able to sign up for Christine's like personal program, Inner Mastery, that really started me in this personal growth journey where I started to like kind of like release things and free myself. I read her book. I've been on her podcast as a guest. She like coaches people on her podcast, and I was coaching her podcast. And then I take their inner child program. And most recently, this year, I took her Be the Queen program that they collaborate together to help you like attract the relationship you want. So when I look back and I'm like, what? I did again, that's another example that I never been to Texas, even if I was last year in the US. I didn't make it to Texas, and yet there are so many people in the Austin area and in the area of Texas that help me expand it and living my best life without going there. So that's I want to highlight that you don't need to go to the energy to get there. And again, another example, because Jupiter is crazy for me in my birth chart. Again, referring to my ex that I told you was is Indian. I have a Jupiter MC line, and I have my zenith. That it's actually the most, like it's the concentration of the energy. It's the peak of the energy passing through the town that he was born. And I was like, what? And once again, even if that relationship didn't pan out, the way it expanded me and really made me like grow and expand in ways I didn't think possible. Like it broke me open into something, this new version of myself. And I look, it's my Jupiter line because for me, having Jupiter in Virgo, I need to have these body experiences, Virgo role in the body as well, the sixth house of health that help me like let go physically of the body to be able to expand and grow. So these are my example, but if you are interested to locate where Jupiter and Venus lines are in your birth chart, and if they are good lines for you, depending on your birth chart and astrocartography chart, make sure to come and book a reading with me. I've had so much fun reading like astrocartography readings for both single people, couples, and couples coming to me together to see what's the best place for both of them. I do couples reading as well. Just send me a message, not on Instagram because I'm off social media. I think I will be back soon, but at luanabossetti.com, you can go on the content form, send me a message, or book a reading through that as well. I would love you to support you, not only to go to places where you want to go, but to also bring the energies to you, which is a tool that I've shared on the podcast before, and I will share again. I will link in the show notes, but you can really bring the energies to you. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure to comment if you know anything about astrocartography. If you have read an astrocartography reading, let me know. I would like to connect with you. And until next time, peace and love. Ciao.